Monitor Charlotte Observer. This is for Brad, but I'd like Paul to answer it after. How much of everything that took place from lap 1 of the first practice can be attributed a little bit to not bad Brad, but maybe a hacked off Brad?
Hacked off? What's that mean?
Just kind of, you know, like ticked off, trying to maybe make up a little bit for whatever transpired. Is there anything of that? I'm not to say you had anything to prove, but just anything extra that came out of that whole incident that lasted through the weekend?
Well, I don't like being pushed around, Jim, and I felt like what happened on the racetrack, that someone was pushing me around, and I don't like that. I hate that. I can't stand for that. I won't stand for that. I can't stand it. And I don't know if that creates a level of desire that makes us better. I would look to Paul and say my race car was just fast this weekend and we had a lot more speed than we have had over the last few weeks. But I know that doesn't make a very good story. But I would probably say that's more the reality. This car was fast the second we unloaded it. It was fast. The primary car was before I knocked the wall down with it. The one corner I had in 1 and 2 was so good that when I got to 3 and 4 and somebody pulled up in front of me at half speed, I didn't want to lift. And I wasn't going to lift. So I think that's as big a part as anything else. And then from there, certainly there's always that little bit extra you get when you're fired up. A lot of people would say that's a bad thing in a race car. That adrenaline's the worst thing that can happen to you because you don't focus as well. Well, maybe it's not. I don't know. I ain't the one to answer that. But I do like the result. And whatever I got to do to get them, I'll get them. But I'm not going to be pushed around, and that's one code that I'm going to continue to live by. And that's how I felt like it shaped out at the beginning. And for whatever reason, it worked out the way it did at the end, and I'm not sure why. But it did, and I'm thankful for that.
Let's go over to Jim and then to Tom. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul. Paul Wolf.
Yeah, for us, I feel like, as a team, we ran really well here last year. And I feel like we continue to show that when we come back to places for a second time as a team, we continue to get better. And so I think, whether it was in the primary car or the backup car, we tried to be smart about what we were doing and felt like we brought back a better race car. Maybe it's human nature that, when you're ticked off or whatever, you're able to find another level. And you definitely look at that sometimes. And there's definitely a lot of instances where I've seen Brad be able to find speed in the race car when he is ticked off. So whether he knows he's doing it or not, it just seems like it happens. So, but overall, I feel like we had a good race car, whether it was the primary or the backup, and we're definitely did a great job executing in the race tonight.
Over here to Bob, and then to Tom, and then to Steve.
Bob Parker, Sporting News for Brad, and if Paul wants to jump in, feel free. But Brad, on Thursday, you said the new rules could be a game changer. Did you feel they changed the game tonight for you?
I felt like we were a lot closer speed-wise than we've been over the last few weeks. I don't know if that's it. Obviously, the 48 car was still very, very fast, and you can't take that away from them. It sounded like at times 88 and the 5 car were as well. 11 car has been fast all year. The same cars are still fast. It's just maybe the delta between what we were missing between them is a lot closer, and I feel good about that.
Let's go to Tom, Steve, and then Joe.
Tom Jensen, Speed.com, for both you guys. You lead the series in wins now, pretty much locked in the chase. Finished 5th last year. What do you got to do to win a championship this year?
You got to win races. I mean, Tony proved that last year. You got to win races. You don't back your way in the chase. Don't rest on your laurels. We've got to have fast cars when the chase starts with great reliability and great execution. It's going to take all 3, and those 3 are going to win races. Put the luck side, just throw that to the side because somebody dying out there? Jesus.
Look, it's a fan of yours.
Oh. Is that like the Dale Jr. fan at Phoenix? I don't get them kind of fans. But I've read about them. But you haven't heard that story. I'll tell you later. What was I talking about?
Talk about
My
winning,
mind's in another place.
winning races.
Oh, winning races. Winning championship. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got distracted. But, you know, I think you got to go out and win races. The luck stuff, man, everybody says luck stuff in the chase, but if you go out there and have good cars and win races and execute and do all those things, Tony proved that you'll win a championship. That's what it's going to take.
Let's go to Steve
No
and then
problem.
Joe.
Thanks, Tom.
Steve Richards of PRN. I have two questions. Follow up on Jim's question. Did you come to find out that something happened to Juan's car, or did he intentionally get into you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll let Juan answer that one. We never talk, so only he knows the answer to that.
And what happened to your steering wheel before the race, and that could have been a disaster?
It broke. I don't know what. I've never seen it happen before. It was a standard Momo wheel that you would get off a parts truck here at the racetrack or a typical vendor. Obviously, it had a lot of miles on it. I don't think it was the wheel that was on the car I wrecked. But I put it on before the race started, gave it a tug, and it broke in my hands. And if that would have happened on the racetrack today, we'd have been obviously not winning the race and potentially worse. So you know, I'm glad I back-checked it before the race started, and glad that we were able to get a new one on the car.
Go ahead, Joe.
Joe Menzer, NASCAR.com. Brad, you seem like you never run out of energy. You're always bouncing around. But did the 3 events in a row in this heat take anything out of you? I mean,
Hell no.
Did you
No.
lose? Did you
Do
lose?
I look like I'm missing any energy?
Well, you don't look like you could lose any weight either. But did you? I mean, did you? Was it an issue at all for you?
Nah, it's good. I feel great.
Did you lose weight?
I don't know. I didn't weigh myself.
What do you weigh anyway?
Not enough.
So no issue at all.
Nah, I'm great, man. I feel good. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow, but I would have done that either way.
Other questions? Other questions? Bob?
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Brad, you lead the series with 3 wins, but you're 10th in points. Is that a good thing or bad thing? And I mean, is there concern?
So like I said, I'm looking forward. I ain't looking back. If you're worried about being 10th in points, then you're looking back.
And so why are you 10th in points when you lead the
We're
series?
10th in points because we had the reliability issues earlier in the year. You take out our 2 reliability issues, or 3. Was it 2 or 3? I can't remember what it was. If you remove those, and we're a legitimate top 5 team. And that's the way it's been all season long. So, you know, we just got to remove those. Look at Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is not a, was it 14th or 15th place? They're not a 14th or 15th place team, but they had 3 races where they blew up. And the penalty for those races is, you know, catastrophic. And so he doesn't deserve to be 15th in points or wherever he's at. He's a good driver, and that's a good team. So, you know, I think you got to look at that and say that that's why we're where we're at. We lost anywhere from 50 to 70 points in those 2 races. Give us those points back, and we're 20 out of the lead at best, and maybe, you know, 30 or 40 at worst. So, I mean, you know, I feel like we're a good team, and we just had those issues. We can't have them in the chase. We had them at the early season. We've moved on, and we're looking forward.